You know, I haven't been to a Best Buy or even thought about one in a long time. I'm talking years. You know, I used to go there a lot before I had an Amazon Prime membership, but nowadays it's like, why would I leave my house? But the other day I was actually forced to go to Best Buy, and that's because a cable guy came to my house and destroyed everything, as per usual with any service provider coming to your house. I'll tell you more about that later, but I was pleasantly surprised when I went into the store. I had a great experience. You know, I ended up grabbing one of those little guys with the blue shirts, and I was like, oh my God, I thought Amazon killed you. I am so glad you're still alive. And you know, he looked back at me awkwardly like, thanks. So in this video, we're gonna figure out how Best Buy is still around, because I really thought Amazon would have killed them. And then we're gonna find out, should we actually be buying Best Buy stock? Well, we're gonna find out today on Fallible. First though, why was AK at Best Buy? Well, I had finally switched my internet service from those assholes at AT&T to, well, the bastards at Spectrum. And if you're wondering who Spectrum is, they actually used to be Bright House, which is actually Time Warner Cable. So you know they got that brilliant plan to keep switching their names so you kind of forget how pissed off you were at the last company. They're tricky, real tricky. So this guy comes over and he sets everything up, and he's getting ready to leave, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, as soon as he does leave, this thing is gonna stop working. So I got my phone out and I'm testing the internet as he's getting into his car. And of course, as soon as he pulls away, the internet dies. It's all dead, nothing works, no lights, nothing. And this is a problem for AK because you know me, I gotta be on Instagram every second of the day. My followers need my artistic pictures, so I need internet. And where I live, Amazon doesn't deliver same day. So I actually had to get in my car and go to an actual store. It was like Throwback Thursday, AK driving to Best Buy. So as soon as I get in there, the first little guy that I see with the blue shirt, I just grab him and I go off on how much I just hate Spectrum. And you know, I'm just one of those hysterical customers that retail workers love to deal with. I was like, he came over and he just took complete advantage of me. Just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then he just took off so fast. He did not even wait to see how I was doing. He didn't care. And then when I tried to call him, he didn't even pick up. Like, what am I to him? Just something to be used? He didn't even do a good job. He did not satisfy me at all. And now what I gotta do? I gotta finish the job myself. And you know, even with the way that I was acting, this little blue shirted man was so understanding. The whole time he was just nodding his head in acknowledgement and repeating back to me what I was saying to show he understood me. You know, he was doing all those little psychological things that therapists do. And I was like, ooh, you're trained, aren't you? And he just calmed me down like a teething toddler. He just gave me his sweet Best Buy customer service to suck on to get me settled down. And then within 5 minutes, he had the router and whatever else I needed, and I was on my way. It was beautiful. And I was like, wow, thank God for Best Buy. Amazon couldn't save me here, but Best Buy came through. And I was like, I kind of see why you guys are still around. And then I looked into it a little more and I realized not only are they still around, but they're thriving. And I'm about to explain why, so keep watching. Okay, so back in 2012, Best Buy really was about to die. Their profits shrunk 90% in 1 quarter. And while that was happening, their CEO got caught in some scandal, affair, some knocking the boots with one of the employees. Which, you know, I guess I kind of get, because if the whole ship is going down, you might as well go down doing what you love, right? Or I guess doing who you love, or doing whoever is conveniently located next to you. Because I mean, you're on the Titanic anyway, right? But right at that time, a new CEO was put into place, and his name was Hubert Joly. Now the reason his name is so fancy is because he's French. But as soon as he came in, he launched the Renew Blue initiative. So since that time, the company has shut down stores, exited unprofitable regions, and really cut down on their internal costs. So their total debt is down more than half since 2012. And their cash on hand went from 1.2 billion to 3.1 billion now. And their online revenue has more than doubled from 7% of US sales to 16%, which is way above other big box retailers. Not only that, but for investors, they've been increasing their dividend for the last 5 years consecutively. It's been growing at 19% each year, and they currently have a 2.4% dividend yield, which is catching the attention of dividend investors. And check this out, they've met or beat analyst earnings estimates for 22 quarters in a row now. No other retailer is that consistent. Now there are 2 main reasons why Best Buy has been roaring back. 1 is customer service, and 2 is because of its physical stores. Now you already heard my story about how amazing the customer service is, but let me just give you an idea of how different it is than what it used to be. So back in the day, day when I used to go to Best Buy and I used to go to one of the sales representatives for help, it'd usually be some high school kid just blown out of his mind, just staring at the TV playing Guitar Hero at one of the stations. You know, you ask him a question and he'd be like, what? So I was very surprised when I went in last time because that sales representative was literally trained to deal with my emotions, which I haven't really seen in many stores. But I guess Best Buy understands how frustrating electronics can really be. And it looks like since Joly has been CEO, he's been investing in regular training for their sales staff. His problem, and he was quoted as saying this, is that the sales staff was not very competent and not very engaged. I mean, no kidding, right? When you got weed and Guitar Hero. And the great thing is that the sales representative I was dealing with knew exactly what I needed to fix my problem. And that answer as to what people need is becoming more and more complicated as our technology becomes more advanced. And you know, I'm a pretty tech savvy guy, but even I don't want to spend all that time trying to figure out what system works with what system and what gear I need. Like, go on Amazon and look at routers. It is a mess, even with the reviews. Because then it's up to you to go through the reviews and try to figure out what you need. And hopefully one of the guys in these comments knows what he's talking about. And that's why it was such a relief when I went to Best Buy at an expert who just told me right away, and I didn't have to worry about it. And you know, I'm just talking about a simple internet router here. But nowadays with connected homes and the Internet of Things, you've got much bigger systems that need maintenance. So Best Buy has come up with this new advisory service, which is basically like a supercharged Geek Squad. And Best Buy is saying that their goal is to make their people the chief tech officer of your house. So they'll send a person to your house for free, and they'll do like a 90-minute consultation with you. And their whole idea is to be a consultant and not just a salesperson. So they're trying to establish that long-term relationship with the customer so that whenever they have a problem with their at-home systems or need something added to it, they just call up Best Buy. And Best Buy has gotten rid of a lot of the metrics they used to track their employees with, like weekly sales and whatever. Instead, they're putting these advisors on an annual salary instead of an hourly wage with commissions. So the whole idea is for the company to become completely service focused and have that long-term relationship. And I'm telling you, I love that because I got some smart home features and when they break, I just have no idea what to do. Because you got different systems with different APIs all trying to talk to each other, and unless you're trained in it, it's just a pain in the ass. And you know, Amazon can't compete with that kind of service. Okay, so the second reason Best Buy is doing so well is because of their physical locations. Now, I'm sure you heard how Amazon bought Whole Foods, right? And they're even opening up their own physical stores for just Amazon products. And that's because physical locations and experiences are making a huge comeback in our virtual world. Everything is just getting so complicated and out there that people want a place where they could go and actually use something physically. You know, they basically want a showroom. So Best Buy is the perfect place to show off this gear. Amazon, Google, Apple, and all these tech guys basically pay rent to be placed in the Best Buy store. And this is much cheaper than the alternative, which is to open their own store. And they also avoid having to hire their own staff because they already have the Best Buy experts right there. And as I said before, these salespeople are much better than they used to be. That one guy could have sold me anything and I would have bought it. And it turns out 70% of Americans live within 15 miles of a Best Buy. Best Buy has almost 1,300 locations. Apple, on the other hand, has only 271. Microsoft has 89 and Amazon has 86. But if you add in Whole Foods, Amazon actually has over 400 stores now. But the point is, Best Buy is the one with all the real estate that these tech companies need to use. So check it out. Since 2012, since Hubert became CEO, Best Buy's stock price is up almost 600%. BBY is now in a 28-week consolidation. And new earnings actually come out on the 27th, and they could be the catalyst that pushes price higher. So depending on that earnings and if there's a breakout, this could be a good buy. Or maybe even the best buy? Oh yeah, great joke. Now, of course, you should do your own research and stick to your own trading plan before you make any moves here. And if you want more investment ideas like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that bell for notifications of new videos. We publish about 3 a week, so subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. Stay fallible out there. Bye.